So the relationship is over. You're heartbroken, lonely, and maybe even a little self-loathing sometimes. You wonder why you weren't good enough for this person. Maybe you were the one who left and you're wondering if you made a mistake. All of this is completely normal. I broke up with my boyfriend of 8 years about a year ago. And I've spent this past year trying to figure out myself in order to be, quote, better for him. Because it often felt like I wasn't good enough for him in the relationship. My ex and I have stayed friends, but I always thought that we'd end up back together. Maybe that was wishful thinking. I was hoping that if I did enough work on my past traumas, if I quit smoking, and if I returned to my self-love practices, that I could be the girl he'd want to date. What happened instead is he started dating someone else. And it has taken all of my energy to not be completely bitter about it. I love him, so of course I want him to be happy. But there are, of course, feelings that come up for me, feelings of rejection and inadequacy, the realization that I'm trying so hard to be better for someone who isn't for me. And maybe his new relationship is exactly what I needed to finally let go and move on. So today we're going to practice detaching and letting go, one baby step at a time. And honestly, the healthy breakups, arguably more difficult to get over than the tragically messy ones. It would be so much easier for me to say, I hate him, he wronged me, and it's time to move on. Unfortunately for us, that was not the case.
First things first, cry it all out. Cry as much as you need. Bitch to your friends as much as you need to. And it might feel annoying to be the friend that's like, hey, sorry to bitch about this again, but it's just still heavy on my mind. But I heard on a podcast once that you repeating the story to yourself, it's kind of like your clothes going into the washing machine. You know, they don't just do one spin and then all of a sudden your clothes are clean. Like, no, you have to keep going around and around and around for however long the wash cycle is. And it's kind of similar in that way, where you need to continue to tell the story out loud over and over again. And it sucks having to do it that way, but I don't know any other way to do it. If you do, let me know. But for me, I had to cry a lot. And I had to bitch to my friends a lot about how upset I was and how frustrated I was. And in having these conversations over and over again, especially to my friends and, you know, people that are close to me versus like having the conversation over and over again in my own head, the thing that I think stood out the most, that helped me the most, is every time I talked to my friends about it, they would remind me, I know, you know, it sucks, and maybe this just isn't the right time, or maybe this isn't the right person, but like, you need to remember why it ended in the first place. And remembering why it ended is not necessarily to villainize the other person, you know. I don't think that my ex is a bad person. I don't think he was a bad boyfriend. I think that, you know, things just weren't aligning. You know, we wanted different things out of the relationship. Remind yourself that you deserve to be as happy as possible, and for whatever reason, you weren't as happy as possible in that relationship, whether it was the wrong person, whether it was just right person, wrong time, whether it was, you know, misaligned attachment styles, or maybe one of you's unhealed and there's still work to do. Maybe you're both unhealed and there's still work to do. No matter how you look at it, it sucks, but at least trying to use the logic side of your brain to process it, and, you know, over time, trying to keep your emotional space, I guess, unaffected, it does get easier over time. Removing your emotional self from the situation and realizing logically that this was the only way that you could both heal, that you could both be happy, that you could both find what it is you're looking for. And that's not to say that it'll never come back around. It might. But I think the hope that it might, it's often what keeps us stuck. At least for me, I had so much hope that the relationship would come back around once I started to do the work. And the fact of the matter is, I think that the hope that the relationship would come back around is really what held me back from doing the full extent of the work. Because all of the work I was putting in was to be better for the relationship. And that doesn't serve me, and it won't serve the relationship. So I encourage you to at least try taking your energy back. All the energy that you put into hoping for this relationship to work out, take that back and put it back into yourself, your own self-growth, your own self-worth, your own happiness. Put all of the energy that you have been putting into trying to get this other person to love you, and put it into you really trying to get to love yourself. Because at the end of the day, You really do just need to be happy with yourself in order to attract all of the things that you want. Okay, my bun is going crazy because it is raining. I am on my way to meet my ex's mom because we are still all on good terms, and I am going to Disney with my cousins tomorrow, which I'm really excited about, but I don't have any ears, and she was like, you can't go to Disney without ears. So we're gonna go borrow some ears from her. And I will say, this whole being friends after the breakup thing is really hard. It is. But also, I don't know, I just feel like I might be the toxic ex who just can't move on. But I also can't imagine living my life without this person in it at any capacity. Like, that's crazy to me. You know, I've spent a third of my life with this person. So the thought of not having them just doesn't make any sense in my brain. And as much as it sucks because, you know, we can't be together right now, I do still feel like this person is my best friend, and we've been through so much together, and yeah, I don't want to let that go. So I think the next important step after crying and bitching is, as hard as it might be, you have to let go of the future that you had envisioned for you guys. It's not fun. It's definitely not easy. But you do need to kind of come to terms with the fact that the future you imagined building with this person is probably never going to happen. And I know that hurts to hear, because it hurts to believe, but there's a good chance it might never happen. I'm not, never say never, right? But I definitely think that in order to heal and become a better person, if you are ever going to get back with this person, or even if you're not, it doesn't matter. You have to let go and you have to heal for your own sanity, your own sake. Like, you deserve to be happy and healed, even if that person never comes back into your life.
And I know the hardest part is saying goodbye, especially when it feels like the final goodbye. It's hard to take me seriously because I look like an egghead. But I'm the most emotional person I know, and if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm going to do it. I swear I'm going to move on. Ah! Okay, I got my ears. Look how cute these are. Wait, like, what? How stinking cute are these? I'm obsessed. I'm really excited to be going to Disney tomorrow. I'm going with my cousins, and I haven't seen them in a long time, so I'm really pumped to hang out with some family, hang out with people who are going to fill my cup, because yes, I do think you need to process these things alone, but I think also if you sit in it alone for too long, then you're just kind of going to ruminate, and you're just going to perpetuate, and you're not really going to, I don't think you'll ever really get out of it that way, you know? I think it's important to feel it, process it, and then also, when you're ready, carve out time to do things that are going to fill your cup, to see people who are going to fill your cup. So how do you know if it's time to really let go? If he calls you to tell you that he's getting serious with someone else, it's definitely time to let go. There's nothing you can do about that, as much as it sucks, and as much as, you know, that might feel like the end of everything. There's nothing you can do about it. So sitting in your room crying about it forever is not, you're not going to be in a better place, and they're going to have moved on without you, and you're going to be exactly where you were at the beginning of the breakup, feeling like, why wasn't I enough? Why didn't they love me? And that sucks. That's such a terrible place to be. Mentally, emotionally, it's exhausting, it's heavy, you know? It's hard. If you've had multiple conversations about what's wrong in the relationship, and you both really did your best, and you know, one or the other person is like, I just can't give you what you want. Believe them. Believe them. Even if you think what you want is so simple, even if all you're asking for is a little romance or a date night once a year to celebrate your anniversary, even if that is something so small, if they don't feel that they have the capacity for that, then you can't spend the rest of your life begging someone
to love you that way. You can't. You deserve to be loved that way if that's what you want. But to beg someone for it, that's not love. So before you start to resent them and actually hate them for not being able to give you what you want, I think it's really important that you start to give yourself what you want. And if one day you guys come back to each other, cool, great, but it has to be a whole new relationship. You know, you're going to need to change as a person, and they are going to need to change as a person. And that's inevitable. That'll happen with, you know, life and growth and experience. But sitting around waiting for the other person to do it, or for you to come around to doing the work, it doesn't benefit either of you to change for the other person. That'll never be love. That'll end up resentful and hateful. And yeah, I don't know how to put this in a way that makes it suck any less, because it just sucks. But you need to be happy for you, and you need to let them be happy, especially if this is somebody that you claim to have loved. As much as it sucks, you need to let them be happy, and you deserve to go be happy too. Hey, from inside my closet. God, I know it's hard. I know how hard it is, and I know it friggin' sucks, but the only thing you can really do once you realize it's officially done is to focus on yourself. So most importantly, I guess, find hobbies that keep your mind busy. For me, obviously, it's been ceramics has been huge. Working out is absolutely vital. I really, really, really hate working out. I do. But again, it's requiring so much of me physically that I don't have anything to give mentally. And so it's easy for me to distract myself by going to a hot bar class or a hot yoga class. It's easy for me to distract myself by going for a walk, or, you know, doing my little at-home workouts, because I'm so focused on the pain that I'm enduring physically that I can't even think about the pain that I'm enduring mentally. So I'm going to get ready for a hot yoga class, and I'm going to do my best. I know this is hard. I'm sorry you're going through it. I'm right there with you, and we will be fine. Pinky promise. One last thing, actually, that I want to say before I let you go for the rest of your beautiful Happy Me Monday is that you need to welcome joy. You need to welcome laughter. You need to welcome the things that feel good, because honestly, every time I had a good feeling or a happy feeling, I would immediately feel bad for being happy, because I'm like, oh, well, I'm supposed to be hurting. If I'm happy in this moment, does that mean that I never really loved him? Does that mean that, you know, I'm already over this, and like, oh, I can't already be over this, like it's not enough time? No, healing is not linear. You are going to experience some really good days and some really bad ones. I don't think that you should beat yourself up for the good days. I think you should really seek out that joy and that happiness, however and wherever you can. That's going to be the thing that keeps you floating. That's going to keep you from drowning in your own emotional space. That is going to be the thing that helps you move on. So, I know it sucks, I know it's hard, but we're going through it together, and we're going to be fine. I love you. I'll talk to you next week. Happy Me Monday!